back in the gun, rolls to his right. Now he's going to step up. Run for the first down, and he'll pick up about 9 yards. And multiple players from Columbia River taken down. Mizey. Looked like you had Hochhalter and Kier in there.
Tough to say if that was a planned run or just a decision, but either way, a really successful play. If it was a decision, it's a pretty smart move by a sophomore. Just you know, seeing the opening and making a quick decision.
Well, if you're RA Long, you're basically just cutting the field in half right there. You're having him roll to the right, and you got a read that you're looking at, decided he didn't see anything he wanted, and he took it upfield. Vaughter in the backfield with Mizey. Harris on the near side, and we've got a false start. Correction, wasn't Harris, it was Rutherford on the near side, and he'll get called for the false start. And after a great first down run for RA Long, it'll back them up 5 more yards, and it'll be 2nd and 6.
I'm amazed with high school teams now working out the shotgun with these more complex formations than you used to see, you know, just a few years ago. Makes sense you're going to see a few false starts or, you know, motion penalties.
So Mizey in the backfield takes the snap. Rolling out to his right with the pressure up the middle. He's going to take it himself. And Pretty tries to make a tackle. Also in on the tackle that time around was number 57, Diego Carrion.
One of those sort of blessing in disguise plays. Hochhalter burst up the middle to put immense pressure there on the quarterback, and he, as a result, found an incredible opening here.
You see Hochhalter stepping up just as the snap was coming.
Oh, looks like that was a
play from a couple of drives ago. So the first down for RA Long after Mizey rushes for the first down. 2 receivers up top, 1 on the bottom. Anderson on the near side. Kotera far side with Vaughter in the backfield with Mizey. Anderson in motion. Gets the sweep. And Columbia River wraps him up. Minimal gain. Taken down by Adam Casanova.
It's one of those slow developing plays that when it pops, it really pops. And Columbia River did a good job there of stringing him out just long enough to make the play.
And that's one of those plays, you're seeing that play a lot more in the NFL too, that sort of toss forward, not necessarily a handoff sweep that we're used to seeing. So it'll be 2nd and 7 for the Lumberjacks. Trips right. Rutherford on the near side with Anderson and Harris the second. Kotera on the far side. Mizey looks right. Now he steps up, and Harris almost makes the one-handed catch in the middle of the field. And right now it seems like there's happy feet in the backfield for Mizey moving around on that incompletion. It'll be 3rd and 7.
But still making smart decisions, though. I mean, the pressure's coming. He's not letting it get the best of him. Just rushed that pass just a bit, but it was good in concept.
And the other great thing that he did right there is kept his eyes up the field. Didn't panic, put his head down, and just tried to look for a rushing lane. He almost completed that pass to his receiver. You know, for a sophomore, you're seeing a lot of bright spots from him early on in this game. Mizey off his back foot, and a huge hit by Mason Pretty. Put on Rutherford. And that'll keep the clock moving and bring up 4th down for RA Long.
Yeah, leading with the shoulder there. Those plays are always sort of shocking, but as long as they're making the play with their shoulder, it's a good, clean play.
Not often you see the quarterback lay the wood like that, right?
Well, in high school, I mean, you know, the quarterbacks are usually pretty big, athletic kids. But you're right, that's a big hit.
4th and 4 for RA Long. First down will get them into Columbia River territory. Mizey got the first down on this drive. And a flag thrown on the field just to have a delay a game, possibly. And that is going to be the call.
I don't see the play clock here. Typically at Kiggins Bowl, there's a large play clock, and I don't see one. I'm not sure if there's not an operator today. I know that, you know, with COVID precautions, we're limiting the amount of people who are in stadiums. That's why fans are not really here. That may be the reason, or something else.
Well, 3:30 left to go in the first quarter after the delay of game penalty. It knocks back RA Long to 4th and 9. And they are going to punt this time around.
Yeah, that's rough. 2 penalties on that possession, derailing the drive, because they showed a lot of promise there. But the penalties will kill you.
Back to kick for RA Long. It's Chris King. Snap almost blocked by Herenia. That ball will take a side bounce out of bounds. It looked to be the 45-yard line of Columbia River.
River takes over first down on the 45-yard line.
And if River's defense can hold up, they'll be set up in some good field position throughout the game based off the first couple punts that we've seen from RA Long.
Yeah, not able to get much distance on either one of those punts, and part of it is the pressure. Part of it, both of those balls didn't come off the kicker's foot very well.
Pretty and Columbia River out to take the field again. Sturdivant Blau on the far side of the field. Tight end and Herenia on the right side as well. Pretty dropping back to pass. Had Herenia over the middle briefly. Sturdivant over the middle of the field, and it'll be incomplete. As Jamon Harris II in the way of Sturdivant.
I think that boiled down to that ball wasn't catchable. Pretty sailed that one again. You can see he's got a big arm, but I think he needs to maybe possibly put a little more air under it just to give his receivers a little bit more time to get underneath the ball.
And you take a look at the defender, stopped flat-footed in the middle of the field. Basically, as the receiver was coming up, almost looked like Harris was trying to make a play on it. Another pass for Purdy. Scrambling on the right side, flag thrown near the line of scrimmage. Kotera gets a stiff arm from Pretty, excuse me. Flag all the way back at the 39-yard line. It'll be a hold on Columbia River, so that long run will be coming back.
It's got to be disappointing from Pretty.
That's a nice run he had there.
So Columbia River getting a taste of R.A. Long's, problem in the last drive. Penalties, pulling back good plays, or derailing potentially the drive.
Looked like that hold was just out of frame on that replay.
10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Wow, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. That
explains everything, because now they're back an extra 15 yards instead of 10. So 2nd and 25.
Second down and 21 for River.
It's a long way to go for Columbia River. But their offense has been humming their first couple of drives. 2 receivers on the bottom. Hochhalter, the running back. Pretty steps up, hits Sturdivant. And it'll take multiple lumberjacks to bring him down. At the end of it all,
Pretty did a good job there of checking down. He was looking to his left for the first options on that. When that, you can see his eyes are to the left. No. He moves over and finds his secondary receiver inside. But 8 yards isn't going to get it done in this long yardage situation.
3rd down and about 18. Pretty dealing with some pressure. Got his man to go by, and Sturdivant drops it right in the breadbasket at the 49-yard line of R.A. Long. Had that pass been completed, possibly could have turned that into a first down for Columbia River. Instead, it'll be 4th down, and Columbia River goes out to punt.
Good footwork there by Pretty to avoid the
heads-up play, and great arm strength. Got it as he was thrown, open up his body to get that ball there. You have to wonder if that rain earlier in the game, possibly making that ball a little bit slick. That's 3 receivers now that we've seen as drop passes so far in the game.
Yeah, right in the breadbasket, as you said.
John back to punt for Columbia River. Tyler West got pretty close to getting a hand on that one on the rush inside, and it'll be down by Columbia River and Victor Flores.
Down to the 24-yard line for River.
Cade Lujan had a nice spiral on that kick. You could really see it coming off his foot.
So Ari Long taking over at their own 24-yard line with 2:08 left to go in the first quarter.
So Ari Long's got a little bit of momentum now. They had a good drive. Didn't get 6 points, but they had a good drive. They had a good defensive stop. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this drive here. Well, so much about football is about momentum.
Well, we've seen Mizey with a couple of nice runs, so you think maybe you can possibly get an option game going with him, with how Vaughter's been rushing in the backfield with him. 2 receivers on both sides for Ari Long. Mizey dropping back to pass and trying to hit Vaughter in the flat and off the hands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I wonder, as he was going back, the defender came between him and his receiver, if he adjusted his throw to get over the top and then sailed it as a result.
Yeah, Herrera quickly off the edge right there and causing troubles. Mizey getting the play from the sideline and getting into the huddle. This defensive line, tough one for Columbia River. Ari Long will have their hands full for most of the game. As we said earlier, Columbia River, brought back a majority of their starters from last season. This pass at the feet of Jake Anderson and incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Those Columbia River blitzes are pretty effective because he's not having time to find a second option, or even in that case a first option. Just has to get rid of it.
Well, at that point, you have to think that Ari Long needs to start switching some things up. Now, it's only 3rd and 10. You're not asking him to throw the ball on 3rd and 20 or anything like that. If the blitz is getting to you, and it's not even a blitz half the time, it's just the front 4 getting to you quickly, mix it up, get a run in there, and that way you're not having so much congestion. 2 tight ends in. Mizey dropping back to pass. In the flat to Kotera. Lujan wrapping him up at first. And Ethan Arnett coming in to assist on the tackle for Columbia River. And it'll be a limited gain of about 1 yard. So it'll be 4th and 9 for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, and you were right. That play was just the front 4 getting pressure. Although he had enough time to make the throw, but Lujan made a good break on that pass.
And it seemed like that play was mainly more designed to just be a flat route combination, not necessarily get down the field. As Mizey really didn't give it much time to develop. So Chris King back to punt. Kamatule almost had the block on that one, and a friendly roll for Columbia River will keep the ball on Ari Long's side.
A much better kick that time. You can see he got a little more leg into that one. It's funny, it's so empty in here, I could hear his foot hitting the ball, and that usually isn't the case here at Kick and Bowl.
And here's one more look at it. Yeah, much better off the foot this time around than his first couple punts that he had. Keith Blau, the wide receiver on the far side of the field. Here in the backfield with Pretty. Kier will take the handoff on the right side. And a tough tackle, Kotera takes him down. A gain of 5 yards for Kier on the far side. And it'll be 2nd and 5 on the 41-yard line.
Looked like Kier got sort of hung up deciding whether to cut back or to hit the outside, and when he was flat-footed, it made it an easier tackle. Right there, which way should I go? Well,
Kotera wasted no time, just flew right up the hole and made the decision for Kier. The handoff. Herrera with the pass. Tight end coming across the other side. And that'll be enough for a first down. Looks to be a pickup of about 7.
We haven't seen a ton of play action so far, but that's smart. They've been running the ball.
And that's the second time they've hit a receiver over the middle of the field. Last time Jake Ayers made the reception over the middle. So 2 receivers, top of the screen. Blau and Sturdivant. Here releases, he'll take the pass from Pretty. And a huge block put on by Victor Flores, giving Kier an extra couple of yards to work with. And he's taken out the 25-yard line. And that's a pickup of 9 yards.
Yeah, that's a good senior throw. He wanted to go downfield, but he had the discipline not to throw the ball when he didn't have anything, took that second option and picked up some good chunky yardage here.
2 receivers, top of the screen. Top of the field, tight end on the right side, Herenia. Flores, the receiver, on the near side. He'll get the pass across the middle. Kier trying to put a block up for Flores. Gets to the outside, and he's brought down. And that will be the end of the first quarter after David Vaughter brings down Flores. Columbia River leads 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and it's really seemed to be all River that time around there, Nick.
Yeah, defensively and offensively, they both had it going. And you know, we're calling out some of the same names over and over and over again. We're hearing Lujan, we're hearing Hochhalter, we're hearing Pretty, doing it on both sides of the field. Exciting for these upperclassmen here to be, you know, showing out when they've got the opportunity. And hey, a reminder, our school board has an opening and we are looking to fill it, and it's open to the community. The current board members will select a candidate. Beginning next week, they're going to open the period where people can apply. vansd.org. Next week, we'll have a link you can click on to find an opening, or to apply rather. And the deadline for that is mid-March. They hope to have someone in place by mid-April. So if you're interested in serving on our school board, keep an eye out next week for that link on our website.
So start of the second quarter, fresh 12 on the clock, and a 14-0 lead for Columbia River. And they're moving the ball to the other hash mark. Looks like River will have 3 receivers on the left side, tight end down by Kalmatule. Sturdivant and Flores, top of the formation. Keith Blau, bottom of the screen. Long set up into cover 2. Pretty. In some trouble, found his way through a couple of defenders. He has an opportunity to get in the end zone, and he does! The scramble and score for Columbia River and Mason Pretty. And it's a 20-0 lead right now for Columbia River.
Wow, Pretty showed us their strength and speed, bouncing off defenders and then hitting the next gear to scoot up the middle there, scoot between them and score.
Looked to be a designed run from the beginning. You saw the fake handoff, almost looked like it was a QB draw right away. And yeah, a couple of Lumberjacks in the backfield had a chance to get Pretty. Great footwork from the quarterback, found his way into the end zone.
And you almost don't even see it on the replay, but in real time you can see him, you know, putting on the afterburners there about the 5 or 6 yard line.
So Lujan back for the extra point. Kick is up. And it is good. So 21-0 Columbia River leads as we're 9 seconds into the second quarter.
Wow, 9 seconds, 7 points.
And right now, Columbia River just sort of having their way right now. That's Pretty. Seems to be getting some notes from the coaching staff coming back from the sideline.
You can see those new River helmets there. I don't believe I've seen that design before in that shot. That was a great shot by our camera operator. I think that was Ethan down there getting that great shot. Columbia River without a mascot at the moment, as you may have heard. The school district decided to retire the Chieftain mascot. And The students will actually have the opportunity to select the next mascot.
I heard it was down to a Final Four.
There's Final Four, and then the school board is has debated what they're going to do with those Final Four. There's 2 of them they don't care for as much, and they're going to make a decision, I think, this week to either keep or eliminate those and possibly bring in a couple of more suggestions. But we know so far the 2 options they like are the Rapids, Columbia River Rapids, or Columbia River with no mascot, which is kind of an odd one to me, but they would be called River, just River for short.
Just River.
Which is what everybody calls them anyway. But you don't see a lot of high school programs without
a mascot.
Mascots. And as a person who produces high school sports, all of my graphics have a place for a mascot, so I need them to pick a real mascot. But that's selfish of me.
So is there one you selfishly want them to take? As Kotera takes the kickoff here, he's got an opening on the far side of the field, and he'll be pushed out of bounds by Ethan Arnett.
Well, the other 2 options, the ones the school board doesn't appear to like as much, and again, they're going to make the determination who the finalists are, but then the students will decide the winner. So the other 2 are the Royals and Sasquatch. And it's interesting to me because as far as I can tell, it's not the Sasquatches. It's Sasquatch, like the Royal Sasquatch, like the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic.
Or the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, just the single mascot, not a multiple. I guess
So
there only is one, Sasquatch, right? Only one Bigfoot that we've seen here. In quotes, I'm putting up quotes here.
The grainy video only shows one Sasquatch so far.
Perania running onto the field last second.
I kind of like the Sasquatch idea because I like goofy high school mascots.
Well, it makes it more fun. I know where I'm from, outside of Chicago, here we got Mizey running for his life, throws it in the back into the middle of the field, and Mason Pretty, the interception at the 45-yard line. And Mizey probably would have been better off either just eating it or throwing it out of bounds, but Mason Pretty ends up with the interception. And Columbia River sitting pretty at the 45-yard line, 21-0 lead.
Probably should have sailed that one out of bounds. Not probably, definitely should have sailed that one out of bounds. That's a tough one. That's the difference between a senior quarterback like Pretty, who didn't have something, went for the second option, and a sophomore quarterback who's still trying to figure these things out.
2 receivers top of the screen. Perania moving over to the top. So 3 receivers left side of the formation for Columbia River. Two-step drop and a high pass caught and brought down by Cade Lujan. Great hands right there from Lujan, snagging that one out of the air. Huge pickup of 25 for Columbia River.
Yeah, we need to snip that one for the halftime highlights package. Great pair of hands right there to pull that one down.
Now going back to the mascot conversation, do you have any fun mascots you've heard in your time? And I was talking about it just a second ago, back where I'm from, you've got the Barbs for DeKalb, that's where barbed wire was made, and then you got the Freeport Pretzels, believe it or not, here dropping the ball here in the backfield. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, locally, we've got Papermakers for Camas,
yep.
Great nickname. I really enjoy, last week we had the Ridgefield Sputters,
yep.
The Fighting Potato. I really enjoy those. I went to 2 high schools. The first high school I went to was Gresham Gophers.
Ooh.
Gophers is a good one.
Yeah.
So I think, nothing against anybody else, but we have enough
unique names, you're thinking?
Yeah, we have enough Eagles, and we have enough. I like the unique names. They bring a little character.
Here, got to carry up the middle, trying to bounce that one outside. Looks to be a pickup of 5.
I love the Fort Vancouver Trappers because it's local. It's totally unique. It's very specific to the fort or local fort in Vancouver. I like ones with character, I guess.
I feel like Sasquatch would be a nice, easy one to stick out. Who are the Sasquatch, Oh, that's Columbia River. But as they look for another mascot here, it's 3rd down and 10, and back of the end zone, Keith Blau on the post pattern. Mason Pretty finding him, and River just adding on the points. They lead 27-0. 2 huge pass plays right there by Pretty, one to Lujan, and this time to Keith Blau. Here's another look at it. Used his eyes to have the defenders look out into the flat at first, then came back into the middle of the field.
Yeah, another little bit of a high throw, but good hands there by Blau to pull that one in. Pretty puts a lot of mustard on his ball, so it's a testament to those receivers. They're able to look those in. Of course, they're used to catching that every day in practice, and they know what he's serving up. Well, ultimately, with the mascots, the students will decide, and that's kind of how it should be. So I'm excited to see what they're going to select. And of course, I think Columbia River has one of the great color schemes of our local teams.
The purple and gold is a nice look. Good contrast with each other.
Unique to the area, you know, not a lot of other schools in this area have that color scheme.
28-0, 10:35 in the second quarter.
And Columbia River fans, know, but they're playing here tonight at Kiggins Bowl because their own field they typically play on over on the high school campus is getting redone thanks to taxpayers' bond dollars. Taxpayers, wanted to support Vancouver Public Schools, and one of the big projects was to revitalize a football stadium that's 50 years old. They're putting a new roof on it. If you drive by over there on 99th Street, you'd see, the old roof is gone, the press box is gone. As far as I can tell, that's how it looks from the street anyway. And they're putting a new cover on, and it's going to be a much better place to see football games for fans and also for teacher Janine Blackwell, her video production program, CR Sports. They are a Emmy-winning sports broadcasting program. They were just nominated for the National Emmy Award for student broadcasting, sports broadcasting, and they bring lots of football games. So we don't actually get to do Columbia River very often because their program does such a great job with it. So it'll be exciting when that's finished for the Columbia River fans.
Lujan, the short kick, Kotera will grab it and quickly run out of bounds. He looked to run out at about the 24-yard line. And the referee standing in between the 24 and 25-yard line. So that is where the Lumberjacks will take over.
I'm curious about the strategy behind that sort of pooch kick. If that's just a practice, kick for scenario down the road. Because Lujan, has got a pretty good leg.
Well, yeah, we've seen him get it back there. Of course, Harris received one of the kicks all the way back at the 4-yard line, so we know he can get his leg behind it. But maybe you've seen strategy possibly in college ball where they do that soft kick into the corner and you get your guys to run down the field and you can sneak a possession in there. So Mizey still at the helm at quarterback. Kotera in motion. He'll take the short pop pass, running out of territory in the backfield. Mason Pretty coming up from his cornerback position to make that tackle in the backfield. And that was a loss of 11 yards for Kotera right there. And if you're R.A. Long, that's exactly what you do not need.
Yeah, he had a decision at some point to cut in and take a short loss, or right there decides to run backwards and see if he can turn a broken play into something positive. But
yeah, at that point, you got to put your foot in the ground and go upfield.
Just see if you can drag yourself back to the line of scrimmage.
Caden McDonald checked in for Columbia River, now on the field. Two receivers on both sides of the formation for Mizey. Escapes the pressure. Tries to spin out of that one, and he's taken down. It looks to be Pretty again on the far side of the field. And he's just making plays on both sides, at corner and at quarterback.
But Mizey with some pretty nimble feet there. Again, that's turning a broken play into something and making a smart decision. He's made two bad decisions in this game, and both have been pretty costly when it comes to the turnovers, but most plays, it seems like he kind of gets where he needs to be.
Well, both edge rushers right there for Columbia River got around on the edge, and you're right, Mizey did a great job just stepping up and taking what was given up the middle. 3rd and 14 for the Lumberjacks. Kotera in motion. Fakes the sweep. Mizey will take it himself. Columbia River not fooled on that one. Flores and Kier coming up on the tackle.
The closing speed on this Columbia River defense is impressive because he had a hole. It just closed really quickly.
Kier and Flores wasting no time getting to the ball carrier. McDonald was there as well. Yeah, here's one more look at it. And right now, R.A. Long just really has not had the opportunity really to get anything going. Their most positive plays have been the ones that have broken down for Mizey. And he's back to pass. King back to kick again. Second good kick by him, and muffed punt by Sturdivant, able to get back on top of it. And he's lucky he was able to pick that one up on a bounce. Could have been trouble, and fortunate for R.A. Long, but River will retain possession on the tackle. There's number 62, Anthony Powell, for the Lumberjacks.
The football gods were smiling on him there, because that ball, with its pointed end, typically doesn't bounce directly back into your chest when you drop it. But watch here, down it goes, right back up to his chest.
So River taking over again in R.A. Long territory. In fact, their only possession when they had it in their own zone, they ended up punting. Hockhalter in the backfield with Pretty. Gets the handoff up the middle.
Yeah, Columbia River's line got those 5 yards. He was 5 yards upfield before he was touched because the line pushed up 5 yards.
Anthony Powell in on the tackle for the Lumberjacks.
I guess not a hole so much as like a front wall. There they go.
Eddie Hockenthaler.
And you're right, they're just getting that push on that front line. And they're having their way with this Lumberjack squad. So 3 receivers on the far side of the field. Harania down in the tight end stance. He'll plant himself in the middle of the field. Pretty on the out. Gets it to Sean Rain. Has an opening far side, still in the field of play, and then eventually pushed out of bounds. On the tackle was Julian Mashik Sheldon. It'll be a first down for Columbia River. Flores coming off the field for River. And here's one more look at that play.
First down, 32 River.
And you get the receivers down. You got Hockhalter laying a block, and multiple players right there. You got your tight end and your receivers up the field making blocks for you. And that goes a long way, and you just saw it on that last play. Dropping 4 back, coming back on the ball. It'll be an incomplete pass. It was Ethan Arnett. Originally, he was working on a go pattern.
Israel Rutherford, some good coverage there coming back to the ball. That was going to be a jump ball at best, and he was right there on the spot to tap that one away.
It looked like the Lumberjacks dropped back, almost dropped 4 all the way back right there, making sure that they weren't beat, because Pretty seemed like he had all the time in the pocket that time. Rain, the receiver on the near side. Harania makes the catch, and it'll be a minimal gain. In on the tackle was Zachary Hoskins. Hoskins will now go to the sideline, but 2nd and 9. Correction, 3rd and 9 for Columbia River.
Yeah, 2 Lumberjacks right there.
Yeah, Mashik Sheldon and Levi Maravilla in on that tackle. Pretty firing one down the field. Sturdivant makes the catch and the tackle by Vaughter. Safety making that tackle.
Laser right there between, just there's such a narrow slot sometimes to get that ball through.
Pretty's working with all the confidence right now. Steps into it, planted that back foot, really threw a laser to Sturdivant, and Vaughter laying the wood. Tight end on the left side. Hockhalter, rush on the left side, gets all the way up to the 5-yard line. Looks to be about a pickup of 9 yards.
The draw play to number 40.
Falling forward, always falling forward. Hockhalter's really great at planting and driving and not getting pushed back.
2 receivers and tight end on the right side. Hockhalter again up the middle. And that'll be a touchdown for River. 34-0. With 5:38 left to go in the second quarter. And River moving the ball efficiently. They're not getting it 2-3 yards at a time. They're getting about 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a chunk. There's another look at Hochhalter spinning his way into the end zone.
Extra point, River.
You know, we talked about football being a momentum game. When River got that second interception, you could almost see it swinging completely in their direction. Hopefully, 5 minutes left here for RA Long in the first half, and then halftime, that can be a rallying point. Halftime, you can actually make some changes. We'll see what happens. But they've got another opportunity here on offense, and they seem like they're really close to putting something together. You'll see 2 or 3 good plays in a row, but just not able to get that extra third play or the first down. So we'll see if they can start kind of turning that corner.
And the other things that we've seen as well, especially on that last drive, the first play, such a big negative play, and that takes you basically out of that drive. It's so hard to get that momentum back, to get that first down and keep going. And it's just, can they limit the self-inflicted wounds? That's the big problem for RA Long so far in this game.
Yeah, and when you've got a young team, that's something that happens, but perhaps, sometimes games like this set up success next year or the year after. That's kind of how high school athletics work often,
And with how Mizey's playing in a couple of seasons, he may be what Pretty is right now. He's showing some nice things while he's working in the pocket. It's just the timing. Does he have the time? The edge rushers for Columbia River have been so fast to get around the edge that he hasn't had much time. So Lujan set to kick again for Columbia River. And there's that pooch kick again. And down at the 40. And Julian Mashik Sheldon took that one, the backup quarterback.
You've got to think at this point that's a practice kick.
Oh, absolutely.
With the score where it is right now, just trying to work on something that you might need down the line. It's a pretty well kicked ball for what it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Having a kicker in high school football is such an advantage.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough back in high school. Our kicker ended up playing Division I football, and that was huge for us because, you're sitting back at the 30, 35-yard line, you're able to get a field goal off. That's almost unheard of in high school football. Mizey running for his life on the far side. Broke away from a couple of tackles, still on his feet. Kier can't bring him down. Mizey, the tough, hard-fought yards for the quarterback right there. And that's a pickup of 23 yards for the Lumberjacks.
Our roster doesn't list weight, but I can tell you, Mizey, he's not a big guy, but he really knows how to move his feet and keep that momentum moving forward. He dragged a couple dudes with him.
It's like Mizey just under 180 pounds.
Oh, you got it. Look at that.
5'10", 177. So, trips right, set up for the Lumberjacks. Kotera on the near side. The pump fake, and Harania with the sack, bringing him down at the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12.
2 on the play brings up 2nd down and 12 for the Lumberjacks.
RA Long going to what's working here, though. Letting Mizey make plays with his feet. Didn't pan out that play, but it seems like a smart way to go here.
Yeah, had the pump fake, trying to buy an extra second here or there, and just that relentless front four right now for Columbia River is getting through that offensive line of the Lumberjacks. Cover 2 for Columbia River. Mizey tries to step into that one, all upper body on that throw, and Anderson unable to bring that one in. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Yeah, you said it. I don't think he planted his foot, but to get anything behind that throw, and it's one thing to do that when you're, 6'4" and 250 pounds, but
the only person that's making a throw like that without putting their lower body into it is Cam Newton. That's the only person I've ever seen not get his legs underneath him and make a throw that's all arm. It just comes back, like, you don't have the accuracy, you don't have the power to get behind the throw, and you saw it on that last one. I mean, your base as a quarterback, that's your fundamentals right there.
Mm-hmm.
Trips left for the Lumberjacks.
And it's also one of the casualties of a quarterback who is having to move his feet all the time. It's hard to plant when you're dancing a little bit because you don't know where the next purple jersey is coming from. You know, we're going to take a minute here while we have a timeout to talk about our amazing student-led crew. We've got students in our control room right there. Hi, guys. Doing a great job with giving us our cameras and it's not all students. We also have a couple of volunteers. They're bringing us the replays. You can see there on the left. I can't see. Is that Noah running replay? I think so.
That's a
yeah,
thumbs
there
up.
he is.
There we go.
We've got camera operators here at the stadium as well. This is an educational program for students. So all of these students working are interested in careers potentially in film or video or sports media, and they're looking at this as an opportunity. They're coming out here on a Friday night for no money to do something fun and bring a community service to our students. This program that we have, VPS Game Time, is open to every student in Vancouver Public Schools who is interested. So if you're watching this and you're interested, or if you have a student you think might be interested in it, they can get a hold of me, Nick Voll, nick.voll@vansd.org, or their video production teacher, or their athletic director at their school, and they can hook up with us and try this out. Run cameras, do instant replay, direct. This is a professional style broadcast, and you're not going to get this anywhere else. So,
yeah, I've got to say, first time with it. Nice setup here at Kiggins Bowl. Multiple camera setup, the opportunity with replay. Great setup here, and a false start on Caden Craig on the front line for Columbia River. And 3rd and 12 will now be 3rd and 7.
And Brian, you a volunteer, a professional coming in to help us, and we really appreciate
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
We can't do this without, people volunteering, so thank you.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be a part of it. Get back in the swing of things with football now on the calendar, something that we weren't quite sure we were going to get this year. Mizey puts a duck up in the air, and River tried to come back and make a play on it. Looked like Flores. And no, that's Sturdivant back there. And he got caught up with Rutherford.
And I can't quite make out the number, but the wide receiver there for R.A. Long, I think, had a shot at that ball. I don't know if he tripped over his own feet or got tangled up with the
It looked like there was a
River defender.
A River guy that, and it's actually the two R.A. Long guys tripped over each other, as it looked like Anderson and Rutherford.
I don't know if that was a great decision to make that throw, but it was catchable if those guys stayed on their feet.
And one thing that Mizey's going to have to work on when he's tossing the pill back there is making sure he's still getting that strength from his legs. You saw that ball hang up in the air. See, this is a much better thrown ball by him, and broken up by Flores and Lujan, intended for Kotera.
Well, I would say that Kotera broke it up, to be honest with you, because that ball was right there in that Chieftain hands, or they're not Chieftains anymore, they're River hands. So that was some good defense on offense.
But as I was saying, though, he had more drive on that last pass. The pass before it really hung up in the air, and it allowed for a couple of River defenders to plant themselves underneath it. Now, lucky enough, it wasn't an interception. But that last throw is exactly what he needs to be doing, is sending that one more on a line, getting his body underneath him. And, yeah, fortunate that Kotera was there to break up that pass, so it wasn't an interception. But still a turnover on downs. So River takes over, 1st and 10 on their 34-yard line. Hochhalter on the flat. Here's a deep pass intended for Blau. And can't get his arms out there. Pretty trying to go for the home run ball.
Pretty after the throw, looking up and clapping his hands. He knows he's got it. He just needs to just take a deep breath and put a little air under it.
I want to say that's about the 3rd or 4th ball where just enough past his receiver. Yeah, you had Hochhalter in the flat, and if you just put just that much more air on it, Blau's going to come running underneath it and make that catch.
Because he had Blau as well.
Catch made by Sean Rain, middle of the field. That'll be a pickup of about 6 yards for Columbia River, sitting at 3rd and 4 from the 40-yard line.
And that's one of the differences we're seeing between these two teams. Columbia River receivers are breaking open, so Pretty's got an opportunity to throw it to him, and Mize's not getting that. His receivers aren't breaking them, so we're seeing him throw to covered receivers because no one's open.
And the other thing you'll notice with Columbia River, as Pretty drops back to pass here, throwing out to Blau, spins into the RA long side of the field at the 48-yard line, so that'll be a first down for Columbia River. But they're getting the crossing patterns, short crossing patterns over the middle of the field, and that helps out Pretty. I'm sure that's definitely going to help out Mize if they can get that guy, because it allows you to get the ball out of your hand quickly, not taking up much time. And we've seen a lot of the passing routes from Mize, their go routes on the outside. That's not really helping him build any confidence. And you want something that's quick. And we saw it early with the flat routes. They just couldn't get the connection going.
Yeah, that first series, he had a couple of nice balls that were dropped.
Good patience from Pretty this time. Blau staying on his feet, spun around. He might have a chance. He's at the 20-yard line, cuts back into the field. 5 and touchdown, River. Keith Blau, the touchdown. 48-yard catch and run for Columbia River. And they're up 41-0, possibly 42 after the extra point.
You mentioned earlier this downfield blocking, and we saw the result of that on this play.
Yeah, watch this one develop. Not only that, Blau, the ability and the balance to stay on his feet right there. And you saw Hochholter, and I couldn't see who the other one, it looks like Lujan. There was a small wall right there for him to run up the field.
In a scenario like that, it's almost like a kick return. You've got a wedge ahead of you, and you just need to pick which way you're going to go off of it.
And Lujan, perfect 6 for 6 on the extra points. And that'll put River up 42-0 over RA Long with just under 3 minutes left to go until halftime. Yeah, and if I was RA Long right now, as the rain starting to fall here at Kiggins Bowl, has really tried to emphasize the short passing game and try to get something with the running game open, because outside of Mize, we really haven't seen any of their backs take a handoff. We've seen the receivers come in motion and take that short little pop pass forward, but we haven't seen any action out of the backfield outside of Mize.
Yeah, that's a great point. I only recall offhand about one handoff up the middle that didn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But that's hard too, because we're seeing that Columbia River pressure from the front four. What is an interior handoff going to accomplish them? So I guess you're looking at outside plays, that's sweeps, or like you mentioned.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is we've seen the sweep. We saw Kotera get taken back by 11 yards. We've seen the edge rushers really come up the field for Columbia River. You might have an opening in the middle with how fast those two guys are coming up on the edges.
Sure, run it sort of between the tackle and the guard.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that, yeah. But those are the kind of adjustments coaches can make at halftime.
Exactly.
It's a little bit hard sometimes in the midst of the quarters to make those sorts of adjustments, especially with high school athletes.
Gage Newman, the new kicker for Columbia River here. We've seen a couple of short kicks, and here's another one that's headed right towards the sideline, and that will be a flag. You have to wonder what Columbia River is trying to work on. That's the third kickoff we've seen that's been sort of that short pooch kick that doesn't go much farther than about 25 yards down the field.
I wonder if it's, again, something they're working on, or just simply an effort to eliminate the possibility for a return. Although their special teams have been good so far, so I wouldn't imagine a large kickoff return is too much of a concern.
Yeah, well, we saw Harris have that one return that set up RA Long in good position. They were unable to do anything with it, though. Twins on the near side. Two receivers split on the far side of the field. And there's that short pass caught by Harris the second. Brought down by Keir. And brought down by Diego Carrion.
And that's just what you mentioned, though, that play going inside, a quick release. And yes, it's 2 yards, it's 3 yards, but it's a confidence builder, and it's positive yardage as opposed to a -4 run, on first down, which sets you up for longer, yardage situations later in the possession.
In situations like this, too, you're down 42-0, and you know, I'm no math major, but you do 3 yards 4 times in a row, that's 12 yards. You got yourself a first down. And it's not necessarily the big plays that we've seen from Columbia River. It is getting the 3 to 4 yards per play, and they just really haven't gotten any push up front. Here's a run by Vaughter, and brought down quickly.
Little trickery on that play. Kind of fun to see the fake handoffs and the old who has the ball game.
Casanova on the tackle for River. So 1:50 left to go until halftime. And it looks to be 3rd and 6. No gain on that last play. Two receivers split on both sides of the formation. Vaughter, the running back. And the pass is short to Anderson. Herrera close to break it up.
Looks like they might be staying on the field here on 4th down.
And Mizey will head to the sideline. So it looks like we will have a punt. Going back is number 33, Chris King.
I was wrong.
Maybe had they picked up a few yards, they'd still be on the field. The rain starting to be more prominent here at Kiggins Bowl. Had some light flurries to start the game, and then the rain stopped for most of the first quarter. And then about halfway through the second quarter, the rain picked back up.
So some sort of penalty here. I didn't see the call.
There were too many men on the field. 12 men on the field. And that'll bring it to 4th and 11. End over end punt. And brought in by Columbia River.
A risky decision there.
2 defenders right next to him. And no call for the fair catch.
I saw Sturdivant sort of lift his hands like, who, me? I think you might have seen it on this shot here. I think he probably didn't get, like, what? What's the big deal, coach?
Caught that one. There were no issues.
Did I drop it? No.
Yeah, and here's one more look at it. You've got the 2 defenders right there, and Harris the second. Can't quite make out who the other one is. Looked like Anthony Powell. So Pretty and River take over at their own 44-yard line. A pass over the middle, caught by Sturdivant, brought down by Kotera, the safety, at about the 31, 30-yard line. We'll see where they'll mark them. It's at the 31-yard line.
Another laser from Pretty. That ball didn't get higher than 6 feet off the ground at any point.
Yeah, Vaughter almost got his hand on it. 2 receivers and a tight end on the right side for Pretty. Steps into this throw. Sturdivant lays out for it. Did he make that catch? And they're saying he made it. What a grab by Sturdivant.
Incredible. What a catch.
Laying out for that one. Can't ask for much more out of your senior receiver.
I hope camera 3 got that one for a replay. Wow.
Blau on the near side. Kamatule, the tight end on the left side with Sturdivant. And it looks like rain at the top of the screen. Hochhalter gets the handoff, goes left. And he will be wrapped up and brought down by Zachary Hoskins and Tyler West.
3 on the play by Eddie Hochhalter.
Second and goal from the 4-yard line for River. 33 seconds left in the quarter until halftime. They're trying to put up another touchdown. The pass brings Sturdivant out of the end zone. The juke move put on, and he'll score. And in the final seconds of the second quarter, Sturdivant makes the catch and the score. It's 48-0. River leads.
If our replay crew is able, I would love to see both of those catches. Sturdivant earning a place on the highlight reel tonight.
Absolutely. A couple of nice grabs. And, of course, that diving grab that set him up first and goal inside the 10. Senior. Couple of big plays. And Lujan out there for the extra point. River has put up a heck of a performance here in the first half. They're leading 49-0. And you have to say that the defense for River has played incredibly well. That front four, they forced a couple of turnovers. And then the offense really clicking on all cylinders right now, both in the air and on the ground.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the same kids on both sides of the ball doing it too. High school football is fun with the Iron Man approach, and we're seeing that line on both sides just controlling the line of scrimmage. And, you know, Pretty's got lots of time. He's got a big arm and he's got open receivers, but another thing he has is lots and lots of time, which is not something we can say on the other side.
No, yeah, Mizey's had trouble just getting 2 seconds after the snap, getting that separation. And he's been running for his life a lot of the time tonight.
Well, while we have a moment, folks, stick around for halftime. If you've ever wanted it, you're hearing my voice. If you want to see what my face looks like, we have some news from across Vancouver Public Schools to share with you at the halftime show, so make sure you stick around for that. There's some pretty cool stories in there we've been able to produce in the last couple of months. School has not been in session in buildings, but that doesn't mean good things aren't happening across our school district.
Here's another kick put up by Greg Newman.
It's funny, too. Brian, you've never seen my face.
I have not, no, yeah.
We're standing next to each other.
Of course, we're both wearing masks right now as we broadcast. Keeping up with appearances and safety protocols.
I'm not going to lie to you. You're very lucky.
Lucky that we're wearing masks?
No, well, yes. Never to have seen my face. You know, they say it never rains at Austin Stadium, and I've been doing football games here at Kiggins for almost 10 years, and I can say it always rains.
It always rains.
and I don't know why. It is one of the most picturesque settings you're ever going to find for a high school football game.
It is a beautiful setup here at Kiggins Bowl with the trees surrounding the field. Highway just on the other side. Mizey flat-footed, throws it to the flat to Harris the second, incomplete.
He had him there too.
And it was the flat-footedness. He got the snap and never really turned his body to the receiver and just tried to turn his hips and throw. And leading his receiver right out of bounds for the incompletion. So 2nd and 10. Two receivers on the near side. Cortera and Harris the second. Looks like Anderson on the far side. Mizey in trouble. Tried to break a tackle and then got wrapped up and brought down by Diego Carrion. First person to get there, though, was Keegan Davenport. Got his arm on Mizey, slowing him down. And that will end the half. 49-0 Columbia River, turning a couple of turnovers into points in their offense on a roll as they are shutting out the Lumberjacks of all day long, 49-0.
Yeah, just an incredibly impressive performance by Columbia River. I don't think you could plan for this to go as well as it has. Almost half a century here on the scoreboard. And we're going to see some highlights brought to you by Noah, our replay operator tonight.
And Pretty, just attacking downfield all night. This was on that last drive that Sturdivant made that diving grab. And Pretty, not only doing it offensively, defensively there, broke up the pass, had an interception in the first half. Here's that touchdown in the corner to Blau.
Just snuck behind the defender there.
And this pass intercepted by Flores. And this one really set up Columbia River great there at the 15-yard line. Easy transition into a touchdown. In fact, Keir turned it in right here. And both running backs have been on their game here. More the edge runner right now, getting to the outside. Hochhalter with the hard runs up the middle, but both of them have done a great job out of the backfield.
And this play right here sort of typifies what we've seen tonight from Columbia River's defense. Just a lot of yellow helmets swarming.
The other big thing, Lujan laying that block right there. The receivers and the tight ends for this Columbia River team making blocks downfield, opening up opportunities. And there's that crossing pattern that I was talking about that you'd like to see R.A. Long get more into. Hochhalter with the touchdown run. And it was only 14-0 after the first quarter. 35 points put up in the second quarter by Columbia River. This is one of the few bright spots for R.A. Long. Is Meisey breaking a couple of tackles. And by my count, he had 5 broken tackles on that run.
Keeping his feet moving. And this is that, yeah, we talked about, some decision-making issues, throwing into two receivers there, or defenders.
And then here's the 48-yard catch and run by Keith Blau, with the receiving core blocking up front for him. But just a tremendous first half for Columbia River. They basically could do no wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see what kind of adjustments R.A. Long can make in the second half. And we're also probably going to see some of the younger members of the Columbia River Chieftains team, which will be fun for us to watch because, we're seeing R.A. Long's future on the field in the first half. We're going to see Columbia River's future here maybe in the second half.
Yeah, Adam Watts out there throwing the ball right now for Columbia River. As it's 49-0 with about 7.5 minutes left until halftime.
Let's take a look at some of those news reports we talked about. We'll take a chance to sip some water, and folks, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Orion Ludlow, a teacher at Fort Vancouver High School. Based on information from the Washington State Department of Health, Vancouver Public Schools is preparing to begin hybrid learning for middle and high school students. Today we're going to take a look at how that's going to look, keeping in mind student and staff safety. Hybrid learning is part in-school instruction and part at-home learning. Students will be placed into 2 groups, A and B. A students will attend class in person on Mondays and Tuesdays, with B students in person on Thursdays and Fridays. Students learn remotely the other 3 days of the week. Between Wednesday will be a day of deep cleaning. Schools will be ventilated at maximum levels. Before students can attend school each day, their parents will confirm that they don't have COVID symptoms using an online form emailed directly to them. On school buses, students will have access to masks and hand sanitizer, and distancing will be maintained. Student pickup and drop-off will take place in designated areas, and to reduce crowding, students should be dropped off as close to the start of school as possible. Before students can enter school buildings, temperature scanners will check for fevers of 100.4 degrees or higher. If a student tests higher than 100.4, they'll be retested. If the second test returns the same temperature, they'll need to go home. In the hallways, student transitions will be limited and staggered to avoid unnecessary contact and preserve distancing. Schools may have arrows or one-way hallways to reduce congestion. Students won't be allowed to gather in groups anywhere on school grounds. At lunch, students will sit 6 feet apart and may have assigned seating to allow for contact tracing if needed. Each building may have slightly different protocols to enforce distancing rules, and school staff will share the details with students and parents. Masks or face shields with a drape will be required at all times. The district can provide masks for students if needed. In the classroom, students will maintain 6 feet of distance between one another. Hand sanitizer will be available as well. Students will bring their own devices to school for classroom use, and sharing of common objects or tools will be minimized, with sanitation happening between each use. Hybrid learning is the first step to getting back to full-time in-person learning. How do we get there? Do the right thing at school and at home. Wear a mask. Practice social distancing. Let's get back to business. We can't wait to see you back at school.
This. Have you ever over under a cable? So is that how wrapping up the cable?
Hi everybody, time for a quick look inside Vancouver Public Schools. I'm Nick Vole. For the second year in a row, a counselor from our district is the State Counselor of the Year. The Washington School Counselors Association has announced that Lisa DeMuro from Franklin Elementary School is this year's big winner. When you talk about Counselor Lisa DeMuro, one word pops up over and over again.
She helps spread kindness all the time. It's good to have someone like that. And, she always keeps a good spirit. She always has a good spirit.
She's really kind and genuine and easy to approach.
I'm really passionate about kindness because of a family member of mine that my niece, in her honor, I really have kind of upped my kindness game just in her memory, and everything I do in life is now, it's all about kindness and building those relationships, meaningful, intentional relationships with anyone I interact with.
She holds an annual Kindness Week with special activities to foster a positive school culture. For Ms. DeMuro, kindness isn't a platitude.
She really has a clear idea of what she wants students to do. So it's not just this big idea of, hey, we need kids to be nice to each other. She actually breaks that down and she gets kids to a level where being nice means you're doing these behaviors. She started working in classes, and then literally within 4 weeks, you would start to hear students using the strategies that she was teaching in the classroom. They started using them on the playground.
I really go in and focus on helping kids build skills for naming and recognizing feelings, and then learning strategies to manage their feelings.
They start by saying, I am mad, and then it's okay to be mad, and here's how I can cool off. Here's my cool off strategy, for example, belly breathing.
We want to relax our back and our bodies, and then we want to take a big, deep breath in.
When the pandemic started and everybody needed more help, she was like ramping up her efforts.
That includes videos for students who respond with videos of their own.
Today I'm feeling very excited because today my best friend is coming over.
Parents say she's taken extra steps to help with stressed out kids during remote learning.
Ms. DeMuro has made a huge impact in our family. Being able to help my kids recognize their emotional state and then know how to have the skills to kind of come back to a place where they're centered and they can really, move on with their day and be in a place where they can learn has made a huge difference in our house.
She's grateful for the honor, of course, but for Ms. DeMuro, the work is the reward.
The most meaningful thing is that I feel like maybe I'm doing what I'm setting out to do, because I'm just trying to live my life in a way that is meaningful and impacts others in a positive way.
Over the course of the pandemic, I've had the chance to speak with lots of school counselors from across our districts and see some of the extraordinary efforts they're undertaking to help kids cope with the strange times we're in. If you feel like you might need a little bit of help, don't hesitate to reach out. They want to talk to you. Congratulations to Ms. DeMuro, and thank you to all of our school counselors. Until next time, I'm Nick Vole.
Hey everybody, time for a Revitalizing Vancouver update. I'm Nick Vole. The bond measure that voters passed a couple of years ago has resulted in new school buildings, but it's also brought existing buildings additions. And even though the spaces may not be as big as a whole new school, the impact it has on kids is huge.
From the outside, Eisenhower Elementary looks the same as it has for a long time.
When you drive up to Eisenhower, I would have never known that it's, an addition to the building. It's completely seamless.
But if you look closer, you'll see 2 new classrooms on the south side of the building, the result of an in-depth planning process involving staff and students.
It was a wonderful experience. I would love to do it again. I think that, that deep caring about meeting your community's needs was really felt and honored through the process.
The new rooms have large windows to bring in light.
I think it always impacts students' learning, their level of engagement, and their ability really to kind of focus and concentrate.
The new class spaces also solve two major problems for Eisenhower. For the first time, classes are able to be clustered based on grade level.
That's really nice, because if you're a teacher that's in a completely different wing just because of availability, that really changes the dynamic and communication of the team.
Before, due to overcrowding, classes spilled out into shared co-op spaces like this, which offer no outside light and brought distractions to learning.
To actually have classrooms for all of our staff and students, it's pretty wonderful. So now we just need our kids back.
Staff at Eisenhower is keenly aware that the updates are only possible thanks to our community, and when it's possible again, they would love for you to see the improvements for yourself on a Visit Vancouver school tour.
We are so grateful, and it's I think the best way you could see it is to come and visit our schools, and our gratitude is huge, and our staff's gratitude as well, so thank you.
And you can always keep track of the bond-related work happening across the district on our website, vansd.org/reschools. Until next time, I'm Nick Voll.
Yeah, we have. That I can remember that goes to Union is Gabe. It might be Gabe.
It happens.
I think it's a junior now. Okay. He's in my grade. But, yeah, he goes to Union. It might be Gabe.
Welcome back. Just a minute away from the start of the second half. 49-0 Columbia River leading 49-0 over R.A. Long. And it's been an interesting first half, to say the least. You know, Columbia River started out a little bit slow, only 14 points in that first quarter, and then really exploded in the second quarter, turning in a couple of turnovers into points, scoring 35 to now lead 49-0.
Yeah, Columbia River showing a lot of versatility on offense. They ran the ball well, they threw the ball well. They really mixed it up. I don't have a play chart in front of me, but I would imagine it's around 50-50, which is kind of what you want. And then on defense, you know, we talked about their defensive line sort of dominating the line of scrimmage, and their outside players really gang tackling on the outside, making plays happen defensively.
Yeah, we'll most likely see some of the backups in for Columbia River here in the second half. We already saw different quarterbacks warming up, and Adam Watts. And Watts just a sophomore for Columbia River.
We saw him just huck the ball with ease about 45 yards down the field. So like Pretty, seems like he might have a big arm. Should be fun to watch if he does indeed get some snaps here. And we are going to see a running clock in the second half with the margin of score the way it is. So they'll have to really take advantage of the time they're in there, because they're not going to have as much time if there are places where there'd normally be a clock stoppage. And the rain really coming down in a pretty fine mist, but a lot of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, starting to come down. This is the hardest that it's been all night.
And if we're able, guys, back in the booth, the cheerleaders out here tonight are doing a great job cheering for nobody, you know, cheering for their team to almost no one. So,
they're still out here supporting. And
remember, these are varsity athletes too. You know, they're not competing, but they are varsity letter-winning athletes. So, you know, pretty cool for them to be out here, and I'm sure we'll have some shots of them as the game. There we go. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Of course, you know, it's still important for the seniors to get out there. This is still their last, you know, football season, quotes right there. And I got to say, you know, fond memories of high school, you know, with your friends and everything. Like being a part of a team and still being able to go out there one last time, with your group of friends, your team. As we start the second half here. Kickoff by Lane Oberlo. And here's the return by Kamatule. He's not going down without a fight. He's carrying a couple of lumberjacks on his back as he gets all the way to the 44-yard line. There is a flag back at the 27-yard line. But wow, Samu Kamatule just carrying lumberjacks an extra 15 yards down the field, it looked like.
holding penalty on the play. Unfortunately, he's going to bring that one back. But as excited as you were to call that play, his teammates were going crazy down there.
So the holding penalty will bring the ball back. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So instead of being at the 44-yard line, they are set to be back at the 16-yard line.
And I think you're right. That's Watts. I see number 4 Watts trotting out there. So get some snaps for him tonight.
And that somewhat looks to be one of the few non-starters out there at the moment. We got a couple of different receivers out there.
17-yard line.
Jacoby Fobbs is out there along with Sean Rain.
And it's entirely probable that this is Adam Watts' first snap as a varsity player. As a sophomore, last week, Columbia River's game tight, probably did not get any snaps.
And here Dylan Keir, nice run, picks up 9 on that one up the middle. And that'll bring it to 2nd and 1. And with a young guy at quarterback right now, that's exactly what you want. Nice easy run to get him to transition into this game.
Yeah, don't come out and have to make some difficult throw right off the bat, sort of work your way in.
And you're right, no doubt. First snaps on the varsity level, it doesn't matter if you're up 49-0, there's still those nerves going down. Another handoff to Keir, this time to the right side. Tries to go through a defender, wrapped up and brought down by Jake Anderson.
It's going to be awfully close to the first down.
And it looks like they will give him the first down, a pickup of about 2. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line of Columbia River.
First down to River at the 28-yard line.
2 receivers and a tight end on the far side of the field for Columbia River. Keir still in the backfield with Adam Watts. He'll take the 3rd handoff in a row. Keir bouncing around, getting away from a couple of defenders. Rutherford trying to wrap him up. And it'll be Rutherford and Cortera knocking Keir out of bounds.
Keir with a great job chopping his feet there, sort of keeping that momentum moving forward.
And right now we've got time on the field. One of the referees down on a knee. She is slow to get up. Seems to be doing somewhat okay at the moment.
Looks like he's limping a little bit, but it's going to walk this one off.
I was going to say, moving gingerly.
See him sort of extending his legs, sort of checking it out there. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Levi Maravella checking into the game for the Lumberjacks. 4th straight handoff to Keir. He'll take it. Stiff arm put up, and he is brought down by Ashton Mertez. That'll be a first down for Columbia River as they continue to move that ball.
Yeah, just grinding forward. Not every play needs to be a home run, you know.
And
not to mix sports metaphors here.
We talked about Keir being more the agile runner right there. A good stiff arm on number 50, James Willis. Hochhalter in the backfield now. This will be the first pass for Watts. He'll go to the flat. And it's caught and brought down. It looks to be a loss of 2 on the play.
And the pass by Adam
Making that
Watts,
catch was Satchel Basket.
Good pursuit there by the RA Long defense. I heard we're in the same booth as the coaches, and one of the coaches didn't like something there.
Yeah, missing a holding call. 2 receivers in the tight end, far side of the field for Columbia River. Watts will drop back to pass again. And wrapped up by Anderson, who came up, the weak side linebacker, on a delayed blitz. Will get Watts sacked in the backfield. And that one looks to be a loss of about 4 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 16 from the 35-yard line right now for Columbia River. Here's another look at it. And it looked like he wanted to step up, make a throw. Anderson popped up at the last second, and Watts somewhat froze up.
Caught between making a throw and throwing it away.
Watts on a deep 3rd down. Gets this ball off to Sean Rain. Breaks 1 tackle. And then almost gets back, and he will get past the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 9.
Yeah, good bit of running there, and so far the coach is not challenging Watt to make long, difficult throws like we talked about, making safe throws. It's a good way to get going.
correction, that, well, no, it is 4th down. So Lujan back to punt.
Not something we've seen a lot tonight.
Jacoby Fobbs running off the field. Keir running on last second. It's a personal punt protector. And you're right, we haven't seen Columbia River punt tonight, or this is their second punt.
I believe their second, yeah. I love the position name, personal punt protector. It's such a alliteration, first off, but
Lujan got the initial bounce for River, and then it kind of dies down. It looks to be at about the 28-yard line for the Lumberjacks.
And the punt by Kate Lujan.
so if you're Columbia River's coaches here, what you're looking for is the players who are normally into the first half, you're looking for them to maintain their sort of discipline. You know, it's easy when the lead is large to sort of lose that and get sloppy. And you're also looking at the younger players to see if can they come in and take this seriously and perform like, you know, they were starters.
A couple Lumberjacks running on late, some confusion. As Mason Pomeranke on and off the field for the Lumberjacks. Harris II, Kotera, and Vauder look to be the wide receivers on the left side.
Another player trotting on the field here.
Number 71, Ernesto Luna. In the backfield with Mizey is Logan Goldner. Herrera quickly in the backfield. Mizey gets away from the pressure. Now he's going to rush it. And flipped by Flores. And Mizey seems to be perfectly okay after that tackle. Good pickup for the Lumberjacks. And it looks like it'll be 3rd and 3.
Good bit of running again. And, you know, we've seen that time and time again from Mizey. He gets flushed out of the pocket, but keeps his head square, keeps his shoulders square, and he's got quick feet. I think it's only 2nd down.
Yeah, correction, 2nd down and 3 as Mizey gets back to the huddle for the Lumberjacks. Still seeing a lot of the starters defensively out there for Columbia River. So we're now under 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Trips right for the Lumberjacks. And the pressure getting to Mizey, rolls out to his right. His receiver fell down. Sturdivant, the defender, the closest man to the ball. Falling on the route right there was Cale Coaches.
You know, we talked about players coming into the game that maybe aren't starters. If you look on the sidelines, there aren't a lot of substitutes. And I think part of that is because of COVID, we're limiting the amount of people on the field. So some of the younger players maybe who start on JV suit up for varsity. They're not here tonight.
Yeah, only 35 players right now in total for Columbia River, both on the sideline and on the field. So setting up trips right for the Lumberjacks. Kotera, the near side wide receiver, far side. It's Rutherford Harris II and Vauder. River playing man. Mizey in trouble. He lost the ball. It's loose. And the Lumberjacks seem to have pounced back on top of that one. 59, Tyler West on the loose ball. It'll stay with the Lumberjacks. And that's a tough one to take on 3rd down.
Here's a replay of that. Some good heads-up play there by...
And the blitz put on by Columbia River. And Kyle Matule with the forced fumble.
Kyle Vasquez, the tackle there, wasn't able to make the block, but kept with the play to recover that football.
Chris King back to punt again for R.A. Long. And he's in trouble. Couple of River players right in his face. He's going to eat that one up and tackle it at the 15.
Faced with that decision, do I have time to kick or should I run? And really no time to make any decision at all there. It was a low snap, came in at his feet.
Yeah, I was going to say it bounced before he even got to it.
Fielded that like a shortstop.
Harania and Hutchinson there on the tackle. Samu Kamatule was also there on the assist. So Ethan Arnett on the far side of the field with Jacoby Fobbs. On the near side, Sean Rain. In the tight end, Satchel Basket. Switches to the other side of the line. Watt still out there for Columbia River. Final minute of the third quarter. And it's a rush by Sturdivant. Up the middle, and it looks like he'll pick up 8 yards on that one. He'll be down at the 8-yard line. Oh, correction, 7-yard line.
So Sturdivant, who we saw on the outside earlier in the game, getting some reps in at running back.
Third string running back. He made that terrific catch down the sideline nearing the end of the first half. Two receivers on the near side, tight end and receiver on the left side. Snap on the ground. Watts picks it up. Still looking downfield. Throws this one, a duck in the air, and broken up by Jamon Harris II in the end zone.
Yeah, good bit of defense there. Didn't step up to pursue the quarterback, waiting for him to break the line of scrimmage before committing, and was able to break up that pass.
Yeah, you're right, discipline, the key word on that one, not breaking on that, but that's the end of the third quarter. No points on the board for either side. It'll remain 49-0.
So, guys, you probably know this already. You guys know this already. Hybrid learning has begun. So, elementary schoolers went back at the end of last year. 6th graders began this week. Coming up next week, 7th and 8th graders will be returning to their school buildings. And then the following week, freshmen. And then the week after that, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Hybrid learning looks like this. There's A days and B days. On A days, A students attend class on Mondays and Tuesdays. There's a break in between on Wednesdays, followed by the B students on Thursday and Fridays. Break on Wednesdays gives staff a chance to clean the building entirely so that students are, I forgot my script, so I'm ad-libbing here.
So we're having Wednesdays off so the kids can stay home, clean the school so there's no transmissions, and then group 2 coming in Thursday and Friday.
Thank God there's one professional here in this booth.
Hey, I'm here to help out,
You're the best. So, yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I know every teacher I talk to is really excited to get back in the classroom. There are obviously concerns about safety, but school district and teachers and school staff are doing everything they can do to keep schools safe, cleaning, maintaining distances, masking, not allowing visitors in. So, the teachers I've spoken with have all been pretty excited to go back, even if they are wary. So it's an exciting time to get back into buildings. So, I think we're all kind of glad to just see some forward momentum here with all the things we've been going through.
Well, I think it's been tough on the kids having to do the remote learning a lot of the time. It's hard to stay focused when you don't have to be actually in a classroom face-to-face with somebody. So I think getting the hybrid classroom learning going again, it'll be good for the students to get back into a groove.
Absolutely, yeah, and you hear that from students time and time again that, remote learning just doesn't quite
it doesn't
get
have
done
the same
for them in
feel
the
to
same,
it. And, as anybody who's ever taken online classes in college, it's just not the same feel as physically being in the classroom and being face-to-face with the teacher.
Mask to mask.
Yeah, mask to mask, yeah, exactly. Caden McDonald on the run for Columbia River.
On the draw, gain of about 3 on the play.
Couple yards on that play. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 8-yard line. It looked like number 54 made the tackle, and Anthony Kennedy for R.A. Long.
Or Robert Kennedy. I got Robert. Kennedy. It's a good tackle.
McDonald on the rush again. He'll break out to the left side. Cannot break away from the tackle. That one made by Ashton Mertes.
That was a great tackle.
Open field tackle right there.
Yeah, finding the center of the man, grabbing on and not letting go. He used his legs almost like an anchor just to to slow him down. Watch his legs will whip out. It was a great tackle.
And River looks to be going for a field goal on 4th and 1 from the 6-yard line.
Well,
it's about a 23-yard field goal.
We've seen throughout the night, Lujan's got a good leg. So this is again, you know, they want the points, but obviously this is a rare opportunity for a field goal for Lujan, and the kind of thing that can come in handy later in the season.
Get those reps in, and that field goal is up and through the upright. And River picking up the 50 spot in tonight's game. They now have 52 points, lead 52-0 over R.A. Long.
So a successful drive there from Watt, you know, or Watts, excuse me. His first drive for points as a varsity player. I mean, the quarterback doesn't get all the credit, obviously, but that's kind of sometimes how we view things when we watch football, through the lens of what is the quarterback doing.
Well, think about it. It's the most important person on the field, always touching the ball, setting up the offense. But you're right, it's not a solo show out there. You've got the running backs assisting you out, and basically that's what River's been doing in the second half. It's been a steady dose of the run game.
And, of course, we can't give enough credit to the offensive line there, Columbia River.
Oh, absolutely. They've been monsters up front, both actually on offense and defensively as well.
Well, we have a minute. Reminder, folks, we are on Twitter. VPS Game Time is on Twitter, at VPS Game Time. We post our highlights. We post our scores. We like to retweet all the good local high school sports news that's happening. Follow us, and we might follow you back. And I run that account. It's a small crew here, so if you follow us, I'll see you and I'll say thanks. So
if you're following them, you're following the head honcho that runs everything for us up here.
Yeah, that's how I demand that the students call me head honcho. Or boss man, that's fine too.
Short kick taken by King. And a couple of River players there to make the tackle. Look to be Hunter Wilson and Lucas Odepal on tackle.
Lucas Odepal, the son of Principal Alex Odepal.
Over at Columbia River.
He's an outstanding administrator. I get to work with him from time to time, and he's always a very pleasant and professional and excellent principal. His son seems to be pretty good at football too.
An opportunity here late in the ball game. Running clock in the second half. First quarter seemed like this might be somewhat of a close game. It was 14-0 in favor of Columbia River. Then they turned a couple of turnovers into points, 35 points overall in just the second quarter alone. And it was 49-0 at the half with the running clock. No points in the third quarter, but as we just said, Watts leading Columbia River down the field thanks to strong running game by Columbia River, leading to a field goal.
Dustin Babcock, Nicole Taylor, thanks for following the VPS Game Time Twitter account.
Getting a shout out on the air. Mizey looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield. A high pass broken up by number 35, Kai Butcher-Nguyen.
Almost a highlight reel catch there. That was an excellent play there from, it looks like, Kale Kokis.
Here's one more look at it. Had to go up, almost the one-handed catch, but Butcher-Nguyen, hard hit on the sideline, breaking up that pass.
Yeah, of course, in high school football, getting 1 foot down is good enough. And, I mean, ultimately didn't catch the ball because of the hit, but at least it's some pretty fun sideline plays there when you only have to get one down.
Trips left, set up for the Lumberjacks. Mizey, almost no time, and he's brought down in the backfield, sacked by Adam Casanova. And again, just that front four for Columbia River has been relentless all night. And Mizey's been able to make a couple of plays with his legs, but he's had basically no time to really get anything going.
Third down and 17.
Yeah, coming in off the edge, that forces. I didn't see which player there. It looks like, was that Keegan Davenport forcing him up the middle right into the waiting defensive lineman there.
Mizey getting away from one defender. Now gets to the edge, puts up the pass. He's got Harris wide open on the far side. Watt can't bring him down. And Harris, the second, scores a long scoring play, 60 yards on the catch and run for R.A. Long as they get their first points of the season.
Again, we were talking about Mizey with his feet, keeping his eyes up the field, keeping his shoulders square. He made a man miss, and then made a perfect pass out to Harris, who had snuck behind the defense. Made two men miss there, yeah, and just flipped it over the top to the wide open Harris. And Harris made a good play here at the end too, eluding that tackle with the clever footwork there.
Yeah, instead of going inside, that step inside and then going back out, and it got Watts to fall for it. And he was able to get the separation he needed to score. So R.A. Long. It's been a long couple of weeks, but they finally get up on the board. The kick is up, and it is good. So 52-7, Columbia River is leading R.A. Long.
You know, there's no such thing as moral victories, but that's the sort of play that a team can build on.
You want those small victories right there.
Here's what we can do when we execute the way we know we can.
And again, all credit right there to Sean Mizey. You know, dealing with that pressure coming up on the edge, getting out of the pocket to the left, and you mentioned it, keeping his eyes downfield and able to find Harris. And as a sophomore, he's doing some great things. He just needs a little bit more time back there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Harris has some serious wheels, too. You could kind of see that at the end of that play.
Harris 5'7", $140 junior for this Lumberjack squad. And that's something you'll notice about this team as well. Out of all the starters on offense, only 4 of them are seniors. So a young squad, a lot of juniors out there contributing for the Lumberjack squad. So you have to think that, you know, next season or the fall season, things might be clicking a bit more for this squad.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the cool things about this season in February we have now is they're not that far away from playing again. So I think teams like R.A. Long, who are building momentum, will be able to keep a little bit more of it when they come back in, you know, September, because, you know, presumably we'll be on schedule next year with sports. They'll also have their summer camps and things like that. So, you know, silver linings here for teams like R.A. Long who are building.
Here's the squib kick. And Keith Blau getting the kick return here. Trying to get away from Harris a second. He cannot, and he's brought down by the kicker, Lane Oberloh. And he was brought down at the 49-yard line for Columbia River. So same story, different drive. Great field position for River starting out.
Yeah, pretty clever, pretty smart vision there to see where his lane was. And he ran 50 yards across the field at a 45-degree angle to pick up, you know, 30 yards on the return.
Yeah. And he wasted no time immediately coming to the near side. And yeah, he had all that open space with bodies in front of him, and he was able to get nearly to midfield. He's at the 49. First and 10 for River. Running clock at 6:20. Adam Watts, the handoff. And it looks to be a 1-yard gain by Caden McDonald.
And a draw play to number 24.
It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 50 now for Columbia River.
Brings up 2nd down and 9.
The time really passes with this running clock, now under 6 minutes left.
Flag in the play.
And if you're River, you're not really looking to do much else right now. Just continuing to get those chunks of yards on each play. Normally I'd say keep the clock running, but it's already running with the score the way that it is.
Yeah, just important to keep just executing, you know. Touchdowns are secondary to proper execution, running plays correctly. Touchdowns will come, you know, yardage will come if you execute.
5-yard penalty assessed against River.
We were told a 5-yard penalty. They just marked off almost 15 yards.
15-yard unsportsmanlike.
PA announcer now correcting himself.
There we go.
I'm not sure what the penalty was
Yeah,
for
I did
exactly.
not see what the call was, but River will start back.
Brings up first and 25.
It looks to be first and 25 now for River.
Obviously something significant for 15 yards to be marked off.
McDonald with the rush up the middle. Looked to have gotten to about the 40-yard line, so a pickup of 5 for River.
Big hole. Didn't meet a defender until he was, 8 yards upfield or 6 yards upfield.
And you've got the pulling guard. Number 58, Brock Schultz, opening up that lane for McDonald. New back, Lucas Odepal with the rush, picks up 3 on that carry. On the tackle, Mashik Sheldon for the Lumberjacks.
And the run by number 34, Lucas Utapal.
Also in on that last tackle was Anthony Powell.
15.
And with it 4th down now for Columbia River, the punt team comes out. As we are creeping closer to 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. Lujan back to punt. Almost got that blocked for Lumberjacks in the area. Now he's going to get the friendly roll. And that'll be down by Satchel Basket.
It's fun to watch the Chieftains trying to avoid touching that ball.
Yeah, Keegan Davenport just getting out of the way of that one.
Dancing around the ball.
So under 3 minutes left in tonight's contest. River still leading 52-7. An explosive first half where at halftime they were leading 49-0. And if you're RA Long, you want to take a positive out of this. You have outscored Columbia River in the second half 7-3.
Yeah, and moved the ball. See what they can do. They got, at least one more possession here. See if they can have 2 successful drives in a row, even if it doesn't result in points, but executing. That's not a good start.
And Mizey ran into some trouble originally, got past a couple of defenders and ran into his own offensive lineman. Number 77, Ethan Culpepper. And that's just more of the same. We've been seeing that all night from Columbia River.
Yep, pressure comes almost immediately. And, like we've seen all night, 2 River players making the tackle.
Yeah, Dylan Dean just shooting up on the far side. And that is what immediately caused issues on that last play as we might have 1:40 left in the game. Mizey throws the ball up for Kotera and cannot make the catch. Broken up. Looked to be by number 15, Jacoby Fobbs, excuse me.
Really pretty ball there. He threw that really well. We've talked about him digging in. Watch, he plants his right foot and really launches that beautiful spiral. It would have been a tough catch, but it was a catchable ball.
Well contested by Columbia River. So we enter the final minute of play. If you're RA Long, it's tough to not be discouraged after what happened in this game, but there are a lot of positives that we've seen, mainly at this quarterback position. Mizey, he's trying to get away from multiple Chieftains. And it looked like Brock Schultz was in on that tackle. Correction, number 50, Keegan Davenport, making that last play.
Might see our last play of the game here. Clock continues to tick down. Presumably, RA Long goes for it here, and if they don't get a first down, Well, either way, this is probably the last play of the game.
And Mizey's on the sideline. It looks like they're
They are going to kick.
line up for a punt, whether they punt it or not. Time is ticking down with 8 seconds left on the clock. And they're going to run somewhat of a trick play. He just throws it up in the air and knocked down by number 65, Mason Turner. Looked like he was trying to get an interception on that one for the big fella. And that'll wrap it up here at Kiggins Bowl. Columbia River all over R.A. Long, 52-7. And Nick, you got any final thoughts on what you saw from tonight's game?
Well, we're going to see it right here on our highlights package. A lot of Columbia River here. Offensively varied, good offensive line game. If they continue this play throughout the year, they're going to be a tough matchup in the two-way Greater St. Helens League. And we're going to see it next week when, Hawkinson comes to town.
Yeah, and that'll be a good matchup for a couple of games next week. But again, R.A. Long, second half, they did outscore Columbia River 7-3. They made a nice play by Mizey with a long pass up to Jamon Harris II on a long 60-yard pass and catch.
I think it's it right now. That was that near
by Butcher
completion,
Nguyen.
Yeah.
A nice hit on that end. This is what it is, I believe. Keeping his eyes downfield, and they're able to get it to Harris, dropping back behind the defender in Watts. They've got some nice players. Things will be coming along for this Lumberjacks team. It just was not their game tonight. Columbia River overpowering the Lumberjacks.
And folks, if you enjoy high school sports, you are in for a treat. VPS Game Time continuing its season of broadcasts next week. We've got 3 events for you, starting with volleyball. Heritage at Skyview in a 4A Greater St. Helens League matchup. Skyview coming off a big win we did yesterday against Evergreen. They're looking tough. Friday, we're going to see Brian.
Yep, I'll be back on the call for Washougal versus Hudson Bay. And actually, Corey Keir, the running backs coach for Columbia River, will be on the call with me. And then on Saturday, I'll be back with you again as Hawkinson takes on Columbia River here at Kiggins Bowl.
Yeah, that Hawkinson-Columbia River matchup is going to be the game of the week across our area. Hawkinson, just a year removed from back-to-back state championships at the 2A level. Columbia River, you saw tonight what they can do. So we are really expecting a fun football game next Saturday. And Washougal and Hudson's Bay making its entrance into the 2A Greater St. Helens League this year after moving down from 3A. So that should be a fun game to watch as well.
Well, that's Nick Voll. I'm Brian Slyke. Thank you for tuning in for the broadcast tonight at Kiggins Bowl. Columbia River victorious over R.A. Long 52-7. Be sure to stay home, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time on the broadcast.